Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks, and it's the continuation of the Road to the Leopard 1 Road to Tier 10 series, and I'm in the Tier 5 German medium now, the Panzer III-4, and this is my very first game in it, and I would say that two words to describe how it's been today in this tank are possibly horrific and disaster. I think are possibly the two most accurate words. I hate it. I don't hate it as much as I did when I first got it. Stock, it is a vile machine. It is just horrible. It is sluggish, it is slow, and it didn't seem to be able to hit the broadside of a barn from the inside, or indeed when you do hit, it didn't seem to be able to pen a damn thing. And I don't know what that is. I mean, you can see there the Skoda T24, they have paper armour, and I am dead on it, and I don't even know what was going on. I really don't with those shells. I think he was possibly behind something, but like I say, you know, you could see it was on him, and it was there to pen him, so yeah, I don't know what was going on. But anyway, yeah, horrible day in this tank today. This video doesn't take it to fully upgraded. It's got 2 upgrade packs. This one gets me the first one, and about part way to the second, and yeah, just did 2 pens and died. It's got a 103mm of pen on the stock gun and 110 damage, and as you can see there, well, that T-34, I've been having a few shots at him and kept hitting and kept bouncing off his side, so I switched to premium ammo because I got really fed up with this tank. Like I say, stock, just so sluggish, and it feels as though its terrain resistances were awful, and it doesn't have the sort of gun depression that I'm used to with the low tier German tanks. Whether it does with the upgraded turret and gun, I don't know. It does get the same 75mm as the Panzer IV-H, although it has a slightly slower rate of fire, so it's 110 damage, 110 pen. And but yeah, it's got 60mm of armour on the front, 60 on the sides. I can't remember what it is on the back. It's something like 30, maybe, possibly 20. I don't know. And about 50mm on the front of the turret. The commander's cupola on this, though, is not as solid as it is on a lot of the other lower tier German tanks with that sort of very large commander's cupola, so it's not quite as tough. About 50mm, but yeah, it just kept going like this today, and you know, the tank was to blame for some of it. Like I say, very sluggish. It's got quite a large machine gun port, weak spot on the front. I mean, if you can get the right angle on it at the right distance, you can bounce shots, but if anybody hits that machine gun port, sorry, on the front, they will pen. But yeah, some of it was down to the tank, some of it was down to me just playing with the style and grace of a drunken donkey in high heels. So, you know, it was a bit of a mixture, but yeah, I really did not enjoy this tank stock. Now I've got the first upgrade pack on it with a slightly bigger engine, with the better tracks. It is more tolerable, I think is the word that I'm going to use. I don't hate it, definitely don't like it yet, but it is more tolerable with the slightly bigger engine and the better tracks. It does get a bigger engine, a different turret and a different gun, so I'm not going to pass complete judgment on it just yet. Now, this was the first match that I actually got the upgrade. It was a very cheap first upgrade, but yes, it took me a few matches to actually get enough XP to get it, and that's just, like I said, just, I don't know, it just kept going completely wrong today in this. I just don't know what it was, but as you can see, there's a Panzer III-4 coming now at me, and I'm going for him. I'm trying to angle against the stuff that was shooting at me from across there, which I did, and it bounced the first one, but then no. That Panzer III-4 is fully upgraded, and he's just tearing through. Well, yeah, he was just tearing through guys there. I think he did get killed, but not until he'd taken me down, and I think at least one other tank, and possibly damaged somebody else as well. So I'm kind of looking forward to getting it upgraded. The lack of gun depression on it has been irritating me slightly because, well, I know why it doesn't have very good gun depression, because the turret is very thin, it's very short, it's not a very tall turret, and obviously for each degree that the gun barrel goes down outside the turret, the breech has to go up inside. So with a short turret like this, there's not a lot of room inside for the breech to go up. But I mean, with this match, I'd just gone out to try and spot slightly, being very, very cautious, because I just had some very bad games in it where I was playing quite aggressively, and I was having some very bad games. So with that one, I took it a lot more cautiously, and yeah, just didn't do me any good either. But yeah, I'm not going to complain too much. Well, no, I probably am. But anyway, it's just a combination of factors. I've been bottom tier probably about 80% of the matches I played in this today. I've been bottom tier. The others, I was either top or mid tier. But like I say, it was just, there was a combination of things. Me playing like an idiot, or just bad luck, etc, etc, etc. But it just went on like this all the time that I was in this tank. See, I just popped up over there and got tracked straight away. So pull back, get a hit on the Skoda. Now for some reason this clip, and I don't know why, it just didn't record any audio with it, and I have no idea. These matches were played sort of one after the other. The last one had audio, the next one has audio, but for some reason this clip had no audio recorded, and I don't know why. It did when I was playing it. But then we got back to this. I was getting a little bit better in it. Sort of learning the tank a little bit more. It does seem quite different to some of the others. But yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I shall reserve full-on judgment until it's fully upgraded. But at the moment, I am not overly taken by it. And that doesn't mean that it's a bad tank just because I don't like it. Doesn't mean it's crap. It just means I don't like it and I don't particularly get on with it. That's it. There are not many bad tanks in this game, I want to have said. There are a couple, but not many. Not truly bad. Of course there's going to be tanks that I don't like, there's going to be tanks that you don't like. But you know what I mean by it, a truly bad tank. One that just, it has no redeeming features at all. Again, the M3 Lee springs to mind, and again, in real life, it was a great tank. It had fantastic HE rounds. The troops were very, very glad to have them. It's just unfortunate that in World of Tanks, it's sort of a running joke of how bad that tank is. But anyway, this, possibly, yeah, this was the only good match that I had in this tank today. The only one, and it was the last match that I played in this tank today. It's just I don't know, when you have this sort of experience in a tank, like when it's stock and then you keep getting bottom tier from stock, from your very first go out, you basically just end up getting bottom tier. You stock, you're just having a bad time in it, you're making mistakes yourself for whatever reason, and then you are just getting your arse kicked by Orangey on top of it, at various points. It does leave a bad taste in your mouth about a tank, and that's why I'm not going to try and judge this one just yet until I've got it fully upgraded, had another go in it, another day in it, or whatever, and just seeing if it's any different. But yeah, at the moment, I just want to get out of this tank. I really don't care for it at all. We've got a DW2 down at the end of the railway there, managing to actually pen him and get a couple of hits, which is bizarre because most of the day I've been shooting at stuff with thinner armour than that, and it's just been bouncing. So yeah, it was a pleasant surprise. I don't know. The rounds seem to be fairly low velocity on this as well, the AP rounds. You can see the arch slightly, which means that when a target is moving, you do have to lead it that little bit more. But at the moment, they just seem to be going where I want them to. I mean, it didn't help either that I've cocked up with my crews on this, and I've been having to run it with a, you know, a 75% crew, but it took me something like... It was something ridiculous, like about 7 or 8 games in it to go up about 5% on the crew training. It might have even been worse than that, and that's, like I said, just because I've had the worst games on this today, probably since I started playing it. You know, that sort of thing. And yeah, that seemed legit. The shell just seemed to go straight through the front of the M2 there and out the other side without doing anything. Now, and again with a bit of angling, you know, you can at medium ranges, if they don't know to go for your sort of machine gun port on the front, you can bounce for your shots, but this is one of those slightly frustrating tanks where the hull is stronger than the turret, and the reason I find that so frustrating is because you can always hide your hull. You can't necessarily hide your turret, well you can, but not if you're actually wanting to shoot back at anything. Now that Churchill that got away from him was heading for the hill. He's made it up there so far at least, and he damaged my ammo rack. I'm going to try and... No, he's gonna see me again, I think, and put some shots in, so I'm going to pull back. I want to try and get some more shots on the DW2. Yep, there's the Churchill shooting at me. I'm keeping my front towards him. It's a dodgy shot on the DW2. I don't think I'm actually going to hit him through there. There is a slight chance if the shell could actually go where I aim it, but no, it's very, very slim chance. I take another hit from the Churchill, and this is where, I don't know, I think I just lost patience again today, and this is what I mean, you know, I've made mistakes today as well, just by doing something daft like this. I get tracked by the DW2, instead of just aiming, like I say, I just completely lost my patience, and by this point through the day, after, well, all those games that you've just seen of me dying a lot, I kind of wasn't in the mood for this tank anymore. And yeah, I did do something very, very silly there looking back, but I came out of that with just over 1100 damage done and came in second in that tier 5 match. And that was the best match I played in it all day. But that one we did unfortunately lose. It came down to, I think there were 2 very damaged tanks at the end, possibly one shot each for the guy that was left on our team. Unfortunately, he was AFK, or AFP, whatever you want to call it, but he was just sat there doing nothing. He must have just logged into the game, put his pad down and gone away to, well, do whatever. But yeah, it was a loss, unfortunately. So this one, this is the last game on this. It was the last game played in this today, but it was not me. I had completely had enough with this tank at this point, so I was basically going to turn it off, and my wife said, well, I'll have a crack in it and see how it plays, and she's not played in it before. She's never played in the Panzer III-4, so she went into this match and played it quite cautiously at first, but it worked out quite well for her, and it turned out being not a bad match really. But anyway, it's highway, it's team destruction, and I think it's a tier 5 match. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's a tier 5 match. And again, as long as you know what you're coming up against, you know, you can be fairly aggressive in this, but like I say, your turret is your main weak spot. Your turret and your commander's hatch and that machine gun port on the front. The hull is fairly solid, and like I said before, especially with a bit of angling, the round hatches on the side though, they're also weak spots. They're weaker than the rest of the armour around them, so if you've got one of these from the side and you're struggling to pen it, go for one of those hatches on the side if you can. Although, to be honest, if you've got one of these from the side, just go for the side of the turret, because I think it's something like 30mm as opposed to the 60 on the side of the hull. And now she's moved up to the northwest corner. There's a few other tanks up here as well. There's a Panzer IV-H coming in and straight through the front and damages his ammo rack, and he's been tracked. One more into the side, but it wasn't quite enough to finish him off, and somebody else actually got the kill on him. And just going to move down. You see, there doesn't seem to be much of an enemy push coming this way. There's another medium, slightly further down. It's a Matilda. And I think at this point the crew had been trained up a little bit more. Which, you know, thinking back, that might have been what was making the tank seem so awful stock. Because it really did seem particularly bad. And, you know, I've been through the Panzer IV-H, and it's a similar tank. You know, it's slightly different armour profile. Possibly a slightly different gun, but I think it does have this gun with the 103 pen as one of its guns. And I don't ever remember struggling that badly in that tank as I did in this. So, like I say, whether it was down to the crew on top of that, but I'm not going to blame everything on the crew and the tank. Like I said earlier in the video, I am going to accept responsibility for it because I have been playing quite poorly in this today a couple of times. It wasn't me. Yeah, screw that. It wasn't me sometimes, but yeah, sometimes it was. And I realised that I've probably just been rambling away through most of this video. It was, I don't know, been a funny old day today. The servers going down, it sort of threw me out a little bit, and then, I don't know, it's been a bit of a funny couple of weeks for me, really. Unfortunately, not so much funny, haha, but, you know. Now, again, doesn't seem to be much of a sort of enemy push. They have turned around to try and defend. That T-67 got a couple of hits in and then backed off. And managed to score a hit on the Su-85, although now it doesn't seem to be hitting it. Can we take out the T-67? No. Somebody else did. I actually thought that that my wife had managed to take that out, but no. Somebody else did, unfortunately. Now there's a Churchill up there on the hill, but there's not many tanks left on the enemy team. In fact, you've got 3 light tanks. You've got the Churchill and the Su-85. Now she's going to try and get around the back of this house and come out around behind the Su-85, but then the Razanai pops up on the hill, manages to land a lucky shot, goes round and just manages to take the last bit of health off the Su-85. The Razanai, well, he's been dealt with by something, as of the other 2 light tanks, so it's just the Churchill 3 left. And wait for the aim. I do have a gun laying drive on this at the moment. I put that on straight away, but no other equipment. But even with the gun laying drive, the aim time on this does seem quite poor. And is she going to get over the hill to get the last sort of bit of damage in? Maybe. Try and get the gun down. There we go. One more. Can we get another? Nope. That's it. He's done. And there you go. That's the first part of the Panzer III-4. I wasn't going to do it only in 2 parts, but just with how it's gone, unfortunately, I've had to. She came out to that one with just over 700 damage done, 266 assisted. But there you go. That's it. That's a very, very poor day in that tank today. I have not enjoyed it, but hopefully in the next one I shall do a little bit better. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow with another video, so until then, take care out there, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.